Her voice was flat when she said it, like she was commenting on the weather, not her own child's flesh searing on a red coil. He deserves more. The words lingered in the air, sharp as the smell of burnt skin. My son whimpered against my chest, his hand blistering, trembling. I went to move, to get him out, to drive to the hospital. That's when I felt the weight of a shadow blocking the doorway. Her father. Keys dangling from his fingers like bait. You're not taking him anywhere. I should have begged, pleaded, raged, but none of that rose inside me. Only silence. Only the cold calculation that comes when emotion dies and something harder takes its place. I smiled. Not at him, but at the memory of the men I once commanded. The kind who don't ask questions, the kind who respond to a call. The rumble outside was low at first, tires on gravel, then heavier, louder, until the house itself seemed to tighten. Her father's smirk faltered as red dots bloomed across his chest. And in that moment, I realized this wasn't about the burn, not about the stove, the hand, or even the boy. It was about the truth they'd kept from me, and how I was going to take it back. The first crack in the mask had come weeks earlier. A text message, half erased. My wife stepping into another room to answer calls. A slip of perfume that wasn't hers. I wanted to believe in fatigue, in coincidence, that she was just distant, distracted. But suspicion grows like rot. It starts small, then spreads until every word, every glance carries poison. Her father's sudden presence in our home made no sense. He'd never cared for us, never cared for me. Yet there he was, always hovering, always too close. And when I caught him looking at my son with a kind of pride that didn't belong to a grandfather, something inside me broke. I didn't accuse, I observed. I let them think I was blind. At night, when she thought I was asleep, I heard whispers through the thin wall. His voice, hers, the words low, intimate, impossible. Betrayal wasn't sharp. It was slow, suffocating, and I felt it wrap around my throat with every passing day. But I didn't speak, not yet. I let the silence sharpen me. I started small, phone records, call logs. Nothing dramatic, just enough to build a trail. Patterns emerged, times matched, lies aligned too perfectly to be anything but rehearsed. Then I pulled the thread tighter. A DNA test, my son's hair, a swab from my own mouth. I mailed it under another name, waited with the patience of a soldier on recon. Externally, I played the role. I kissed her cheek, ate the dinners she barely cooked, tucked my son into bed with steady hands. But inside, I measured every detail. The way her father stood too close to her, the way she recoiled when I mentioned family, the flicker of panic when I said I had errands, when she thought I'd be gone too long. Each observation was a nail driven deeper into the coffin of what we used to be. And I didn't stop, I couldn't, because once you've seen the fracture, you can't unsee it. The envelope arrived on a gray morning, thin, innocent. I opened it with hands that didn't shake, not mine, not my blood. My son, his father, was someone else, someone I had let into my home. I waited until evening. She sat across from me at the table, scrolling her phone. I slid the report toward her. She didn't look up at first. When she did, her face drained of color. No yelling, no tears, just silence stretching like a blade between us. Her lips parted. I raised a hand, not to strike, just to stop her from filling the room with lies. The truth had already spoken. Her father came in minutes later, as if he'd been waiting. I handed him the second copy of the report, watched his eyes skim the page, then widen. He looked at her. She looked away. I leaned back in my chair, calm, detached. "Congratulations, he's yours." The silence that followed was worse than shouting. It hollowed the room. Her face twisted, not with guilt, but fear. Not of me, of him, of what this truth would cost them now that it was exposed. I didn't need to add anything more. The ruin was already alive between them, feeding, spreading. All I had to do was stand and leave. I carried my son out without looking back, his small body heavy in my arms, his breath shallow against my chest. The night air was colder than I remembered, cleaner, like I'd been breathing smoke for years without realizing. I didn't feel anger anymore, or grief. Those had burned out long before the stove was lit. What I felt was clarity. Some truths destroy everything you thought you had, but they also free you from the lie you were chained to. Behind me, the house was quiet, too quiet. Ahead of me, the road stretched black and endless. I walked forward without hesitation, because there was nothing left worth saving.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.